Have you recently started a new small business but have no idea how to do your marketing? Well, you're in the right place because today we're going to talk about the 9 most pressing questions that new small business owners have about marketing. The first question most small business owners have is, where do I begin with my marketing? And that's a great question. And the fact that you're even asking that shows that you're ready to be prepared and get this right. So, in order to answer that question, we're going to answer the other 8 questions. Question number 2: who is my target audience? Well, this is one that you're going to answer by doing a little bit of research. First of all, you're going to have some idea based on the product or service you sell. And you're going to write down everything you know about who your ideal client or customer is. The other thing you're going to do is look at your closest competitors. What are they saying? Who are they talking to? How are they phrasing things? Seeing who they serve is going to help you learn more about your ideal clients and customers. This is something that you're not going to do once and stop. This is something you're going to learn about throughout the process of owning your small business. And you're going to continue to tweak this and tweak your message so that you're constantly honing in and speaking the language and answering the biggest questions that your ideal clients and customers have. Number 3, what should my marketing budget be? This is a tough one because, quite frankly, my answer to you would be as small as you can possibly make it and accomplish your goals. It also depends on the size of your business. It depends on the industry you're in. I know that's not the best answer, but let me use mine for example. I started Fox Social Media 15 years ago with $7.99, and I spent that $7.99 on my domain name. Now, I was fortunate that my dad hosted my website for me, so I didn't have to pay for that. And when I first started, I was just an individual offering freelance social media services. So I knew social media well, but I honestly had to learn a lot of other things because I couldn't afford to pay someone. So I learned how to create a website. I learned about email marketing, video marketing. I learned analytics. I learned all kinds of things, ads, online ads, all kinds of things. Now, it's a little different for me because marketing is my business, so this may be different for you. But when you're very first getting started, do as much as you can yourself. And I'm talking about things like using marketing channels. So, question number 4, which marketing channel should I use? That's going to be an easy one. You're going to determine which social media sites your ideal clients and customers are on, and you're going to be on those sites. Now, only use 2 to begin with. Make sure you're comfortable with using them. If you're not, maybe you just have to give it a shot and work on it and get there. You're also going to post about 2 or 3 times a week in the beginning, and you're going to have a website. You're at least going to have a web page. So in the beginning, it can be very simple. It needs to tell what you do, who you serve, and how people will be different by using your product or service. So, in other words, if somebody came to Fox Social Media, I would say Fox Social Media serves very small businesses by doing their marketing and advertising for them so that they can grow their businesses, gain more clients, and increase their revenue. So I've answered those 3 questions right there, what we call above the fold on your website. That's before anyone scrolls. The other things you're going to want on your website are, how do people contact you? How do they buy your products or services? Where are you on social media? Put those links down. So if you can at least do those things, and if you're a brick and mortar business, then you're going to want your hours and location on there as well. If you just start with those things, you're doing great. The next thing you're going to want to do is get your Google business page. This is completely free. And I think I've talked about this before, but you have to have an address, a physical location address, in order to have a Google business page. So I do not have one because I work from home and don't want my home address on the internet. That being said, if you have a location, it can even be a mail center that has a physical address. Usually. Sometimes they don't approve those pages, but you can try it. But having a Google business page is going to help you tremendously, because as people type in small business marketing in Nashville, Tennessee, then hopefully if I had one, it would come up. Number 5, how do I build my brand identity? That's a great question. And you may be thinking, does that matter? And the answer is yes, it does. Your brand identity is everything about you, from what you do, who you serve, where you are, what your values are. It's the whole picture of your business in a nutshell. So your brand identity is created from your personality a lot of times, and your beliefs and your values. And you want to incorporate those into your brand. So what you want to do is be very consistent. You want to have a logo, and that logo is everywhere. It's on your website. It is the profile picture for every one of your social media sites. You want to have your name on social media be exactly the same everywhere, and you want it to be your business name if possible. Sometimes your name's too long, sometimes it's taken, but give that a try. That's the easiest way for people to locate you once they become familiar with your business. Just be consistent everywhere. So there's never a doubt that, oh, this is definitely, ABC Store's business Facebook page or Twitter page or whatever you want to be on. The other thing is that the way you speak and who you are in the community also is part of your identity. So it's not just your product and who you serve, but let's say you make dog food. 20% of your proceeds go to dog shelters, pet shelters. And that's going to be an enormous part of your brand. It shows you care, it shows you have a huge heart, and it shows you're in this to help dogs. So if people feel better about buying your dog food because they know you care enough to give your money to help those homeless pets. Brand values are also going to be things like who you support and what things you support. And that can be anywhere from sponsoring the local high school football team to donating to the community. Number 6, how do I measure marketing success? And you may be thinking, well, that's easy, by sales. But you've got to know where your sales are coming from and where your leads are coming from as well. So the first thing I would say is anybody who buys from you, ask them how they heard about you. That's one of the best ways. And I say one of and not the best way, because people may have seen you on Facebook, on your website, and seen an ad you placed and have no idea, or only remember one of those things. So it's not foolproof. But ask them how they heard about you. The other thing you're going to do is you're going to look at your leads that are coming in. You're going to look at, let's say you've placed an ad. Who are those people clicking on your ad? If they're clicking on your ad and nobody's buying, then there's some disconnect. Is it your message? Are you reaching out to the wrong people? But if they are buying and you can see that and track that through your ad, then you're getting that message right. The other thing you're going to look at are your analytics, and these are not hard. They're not hard to look at. Now, Google it takes a little bit of learning. What that does is it tells you information about your website. Who came to visit your website? Are they male or female? What country are they from? What age group are they in? Those kind of things. It can also tell you where they came from. In other words, did they Google you or just come straight in, which means maybe they Googled you, or did they just click on an article you wrote, a blog post, and come to your website? Did they come in through one of your ads? It will tell you all that kind of information. So that's going to help you to hone in on your marketing. So first of all, you want that traffic, but any old traffic won't do the trick. It has to be your ideal clients and customers that are coming in and people that are going to be buying from you. You're also going to do things like look at your Facebook posts. Take and look at the last month. Which one got the most likes, the most comments, the most shares? When you first start, don't expect a lot of any of this because it takes a while to get rolling. How do I compete with larger businesses? This one is not as tough as it might seem. First of all, you've got to differentiate yourself. Why are you different? What's different? Could it be your hands-on customer service? Could it be your product is so much better, healthier, cleaner, safer, works better, whatever it may be? You've got to differentiate and say, by using my product or service, this is the outcome you get. And this is how I'm different from my competitors. You also have to make sure you're wording that correctly so that people understand. Now, you're not going to go, oh, Joe Schmo's hamburger stand sucks. Come to my hamburger stand. You're just not going to do that. You're just going to use the positives. We only use organic beef. We don't use any type of frozen meat. It's all fresh, whatever it might be. It's all cooked here. It's not brought in. I don't cook, so that probably was a terrible example, but you get the point. You're going to differentiate your product in a positive way. You're not going to say bad things about your competitors. So one of the really good questions here is, what pitfalls do I need to avoid? What are the common mistakes that most people make? I think I would sum these up into three. The first one is doing nothing, being afraid to do anything or saying, I don't know how to do it. Doing nothing is the biggest mistake you can make with your small business marketing. Number two is not reacting quickly enough if you're not going in the right direction. So don't be afraid to try. You're going to make mistakes. They're not going to be earth shattering. Let's say you, at first, you have a nail salon and you don't create an Instagram account. And then you think, oh my gosh, I should have done that. Well, as soon as you realize that that's a visual product and you should be on Instagram, open that account immediately and go forward using that account, and put a little sign at your checkout counter letting people know that you have that Instagram account. Encourage them to share their beautiful nails after you've done them on social media and tag you. So in other words, you can overcome these things. Let's say you weren't talking to the right people, tweak it. This is going to be a learning experience. You're not going to get it all right off the bat. So that is, I would say, the number one thing that people do that's wrong. The other thing they do is they'll get on there and try to be on every single channel. They want to be on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, TikTok, Instagram, every single thing they can find. They also want a YouTube channel, a blog, a podcast. It's overwhelming. You can't keep up with it. So consistency is way more important than amount of content. You need to be consistent. And I can tell you, I haven't always been. And that's one of the big lessons I should have already known, did already know, and had to learn the hard way. So make sure you're consistent. That is number one, and don't spread yourself too thin. What do I do if I'm not getting results? Well, kind of go through the things we talked about. Go through your analytics, go through your audience. Are you talking to the right people? Are you saying the right things about your product? Are you speaking in the language they would use? Have you gotten yourself on social media? Do you have a website? Do you have a Google business page? Remember, Google's the largest search engine in the world. So having a Google business page is just feeding Google information about your business, and it can help you tremendously. So ask yourself those things. Then I think the last question people ask is, when is it time to get help? That depends on how much you know about marketing, what kind of resources you have. Do you have somebody ultra talented within your company that knows all of this and can do it successfully for you? It also depends on, what's your budget? Where are you with your budget? So you can do one of two things. You can get help. And again, I'm going to use Simple Marketing Academy and Fox Social Media as an example. So Fox Social Media, companies that are a little bit bigger, I shouldn't even say bigger, they may have, 10 to 50 plus employees, will come to me and want me to completely run the marketing for them. That means they're setting up their social media, critiquing and getting their website optimized, running their ads, running their posts, running their YouTube channels, all kinds of things. But there are so many small businesses who don't have that budget. I'll be honest, I don't have that budget. So I really wanted to help those small businesses. So my son and I created something called Simple Marketing Academy. the name of the podcast, the name of the YouTube channel. But we've also just created recently something called Simple Marketing Support Membership. It's at this point in time, it's not going to stay there. It's only $29 a month. And there you get videos on how to do all of these things. Want to learn differently? We have ebooks and audiobooks to teach you. We also have all kinds of resources that we are going to give you to help you to do your marketing. In addition, we have automations, which are insanely awesome. So in other words, you fill out a little form and you get a blog post on the topic you want and the social media posts written for social media, and they're just emailed right to you, and you have access to all of those. We've got them for all kinds of things, even like voice automation. So let's say you wanted to have a audio file for something in your business, on your website, whatever. Tell us what you want. Boom, you've got it. We just email it right to you. So we've got, I think, maybe 15 different automations. One that gives you post ideas. One that'll give you a newsletter for your business. They do all kinds of things, and our members use them free. The other thing we do is a weekly group call so that you get on there and go, Jill or Tanner, this is not working. I'm getting frustrated. And then we kind of look at what are you doing, and we troubleshoot together. So it's an incredible package. There is no contract. Essentially, you pay for a month and then you can cancel anytime. You don't have to stay. It's the same with my marketing services. I never force people to stay. I never have had to, for one, but for two, they may have financial issues or other things, and I don't want to put them in worse financial positions. So, and I don't want to force someone to work with me if they don't want to. We have plenty of people that do work with us, and I know we do a good job, and so I know we'll attract those who need our help, and it works for. So, what I want you to do is go to foxsocialmedia.com, and on there you are going to see on that blue menu bar, you're going to see membership. If you click on it, it'll tell you all about Simple Marketing Support Membership. Also, on that blue menu bar, you're going to see something that says free resources. Go over there and get all of those. One of them is testing out one of our automations. So we've got all kinds of resources for you, including an ebook, lists of 150 post ideas, a social media blueprint, you name it. We're going to help you, and those are all free. So go get them. If you have any questions, you will see a spot on there to schedule a 15-minute call with me. Whether you have your business yet or not, it doesn't matter. Happy to help. So go and do those things. And thank you so much for watching and listening today. If this was helpful, please like this video or this podcast, depending where you're listening. And please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode.